Welcome back to the Morning Blend with our featured segment, All That Sparkles with Kesslers Diamonds. Two words that seem similar but actually serve two completely different roles are leader and manager.
Here to explain is Joe Gehrke. He's the president of Kesslers, and we're excited to have you back here on the yellow couch.
Are you going to magically make diamonds appear on our hands?
We need to make them appear on your fingers right now.
I like it.
Caleb, can you help us with
Yeah,
that?
right? That was fun. We were just chatting about all that cool stuff as well. But you guys do some really cool things over at Kesslers, and this is pretty interesting. I want you to start by kind of explaining what a manager is, because we're going to talk about the difference between manager and leader, and I guess we need to start somewhere. So let's start with manager.
So I think from our perspective, manager is someone who has a series of tasks that they have to get done in a given day, and at times there'll be people that'll help them get those tasks done. So we use managers in the company to perform different tasks. Our website needs to get fixed. Someone's got to manage that project for us. So that would be a classic area where we'd use a manager.
Okay. And can you train managers, or do you strictly hire people who already have experience as managers?
Yeah, I would say because our culture at Kesslers is so important to us, our preference is always to develop someone within the company, but we wouldn't necessarily preclude ourselves from looking outside. But our hope would be that we could have somebody that had some skills that we could kind of elevate.
Raise them up?
Raise them up.
Okay, because they already know how the process and how the company works.
They know what's important to us, yeah?
So how about a leader then? What kind of characteristics? I mean, we think of people who can get others to do what they want them to do. That's what I think of, like a leader, and then leading by example.
Right. And you know, we talk about leadership, I think about how that person uses pronouns. And so I think about I and me. That's not necessarily someone who's always going to be the most effective leader. They're probably really good doers. The we, the us, the team. Those are things that we think about. And having good leadership skills isn't something that you can kind of put on a piece of paper. It has to be exhibited through what you do every day.
It almost sounds like a coach when you say team, especially.
Yeah, if we think about some of our famous coaches who are also respected leaders, Vince Lombardi would be one that jumps off the list for Wisconsinites. I mean, clearly he was able to develop people in a way to get them to perform at a level that they didn't anticipate themselves to perform at. So yeah, it's important for us to have that kind of person in our company as we look to grow.
Well, that's a good description, but how do you, within your company and all that, how do you describe if a leader is doing well, if they're doing a good job leading?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where as much as we want to look at the numbers and the results of someone's performance, I think that doesn't always tell you the full story. I think it's really about it's almost a feel. Like if you spend time in the stores, you can tell when the leader has got the team functioning well.
It's a culture thing.
It's a culture feel. It's a feel thing. It doesn't always fit on a piece of paper, but we're more interested in making sure that dynamic of how we get along with each other and that we're always focused on helping serve our customers. And that's not going to be on a piece of paper. It'll be on a piece of paper after the fact, but it's that feel that we're looking for.
And I think it's always sort of an investment in your company if you're into hiring and promoting people from within and training them. There's an investment in people, and obviously you see your people as being an asset. Do you have trouble finding people who you think are going to be good managers, good leaders?
You know, I think we can always hire a manager or leader, but can we always find the right leader for Kesslers? And I think that difference is important. We've just made an investment recently to kind of launch a leadership training program for the company because as we look at adding new locations, the single most important thing for us and the success of that location is going to be having the right leader to be in that store for us. And so, you know, we're looking at consistently trying to developing people within the company for these new stores.
What do you do for people who say, you know, like, okay, I'm a really good leader, I'm a really good manager, and I would love to work at Kesslers, but maybe there's not an opening right now. And, you know, because I think that happens a lot, and people find the place that they want to be, but there's just no opportunity at the time.
Right. We would say, come on in and make sure that the cultural fit is what you're interested in, and given our plans for growth, we'll have opportunities for the right leaders. There's no question in our mind. We need leaders right now. Yes, absolutely. We're actively looking to add locations to the Kesslers, and leadership is a key characteristic for our success. Yeah.
It's interesting too as you talk about locations and the position of those locations, including the new one that's downtown. That's beautiful. But I think that's a great news too, is that because you have multiple locations, people can find one that's close to them and get to know that jeweler. Because people, it's not just buying something, but it's often having it cleaned, having it serviced, keeping it beautiful.
Yeah, that relationship is very important. And obviously downtown was one of our newer stores. We're looking at new locations over by Pleasant Prairie. So down by the border, we think that's a great area of all the development going on there. We've got one store in Michigan. We're looking to add a second store there. So we've got opportunities for the right people to come into the company and help us facilitate that growth.
It's wonderful. Yeah, great to see you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And people can visit your website. Go to KesslersDiamonds.com to find the location that's closest to you. Find out more about the culture at Kesslers. I love the conversation about leaders and managers. Great to see you. Thank you so much.
Good to see you, Joe.